There it is. Awesome arms. So it's Peta and Sal here with Fitness After 50 FAQs. And this is a question that we get. All the questions that we talk about are questions that we get. So, but this one in particular, we get quite a bit. I hate my jiggly arms. What can I do to tone them? Have you ever said that, Sal?
No, I haven't.
No. You
But I've
have
heard it a lot of times.
You've heard a lot of times, yeah. You have great arms. Anyway, so I think the most important thing about this is to remember progress takes time, consistency is key, and it is quite normal that things get a little bit more jiggly as we are aging. My first tip is around the loss of muscle mass, and it's the thing. So we have this natural decline as we're aging, and it impacts our strength, our power, and just our muscles in general. And it actually has a name, and it's called sarcopenia. All right, and so that is where that overall loss is happening. It starts at a really young age, like in our 30s, and it then just progressively gets worse as we get older. So it's really, really important that we include strength training into our routine. So we can go and focus on our arms and, getting rid of those jiggly bits, but we also want to focus on the whole of our body when it comes to strength training. So the types of exercises, Sal, might be tricep dips, push-ups. You might want to do the old bicep curl, but the push-ups are, definitely the ones that are going to get you there. Lateral raises, that's one of your favorites as well too.
I love them. Yep.
Yeah.
Flies when you bend over.
Yeah, flies. Yeah, flies are good too. And so you want to aim for, doing 2 to 3 sessions, even 4 sessions a week.
Yeah.
But I think it's important too to know that we are aging, so we want to make sure that we include that recovery period in there.
Yeah. So maybe every second day doing your arms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got anything to add to that?
My tip?
Yes, your tip?
I have. My tip, you have to be prepared to put in the work. Bicep curls, 3 sets, 10 reps. Yes, it's wonderful to start with. Anything is better than nothing. But if you want to, and remembering to, as you said, you have to focus on your whole body. You really can't spot reduce a certain body part.
No.
It's a whole. But you have to be prepared to put in the work. So don't lift up 1 kilo weights, doing 10 reps 3 times a week and expecting a change in a month, because it's not going to happen. You have to put in the work. You have to lift heavy. You have to make those muscles work.
Yeah, I was just about to say the same thing. It's not about picking up that 1 kilo weight. It is seriously about lifting heavy stuff. And heavy stuff is going to be different for each one of us. So when you start, 1 kilo might be extremely heavy for you.
Heavy. Yeah.
Yeah. Although in saying that, most of our ladies have started at least on a 3 kilo weight. And I like the fact that, you've said bicep curls are great, but, you can do your pulses and, half moves and full moves and focus on the eccentric movements. So there's just so many variables to when you're lifting those weights.
Yes.
That it's important to understand that as well too.
Yeah.
My second tip, I'm going to talk about skin elasticity. Okay, so it actually does decrease as we're aging as well too, and that's to do with that collagen and elastin production that happens. So yeah, skin is definitely going to get saggier, and so that means that the arms are going to be saggier as well too. So, doing what we can do to keep that elasticity in our skin is important as well. And there's a lot of information out there about collagen and having collagen protein and all those types of things. And one of the guys that I listen to who has done all this study on aging and skin, fascinating stuff. There's properties in the sun prevention, so your UV stuff, that actually is great for helping your aging skin and elasticity.
Wow.
And ever since I heard that, like, I was hopeless at putting on my 30 plus. Guess what? I have been diligent. 30 plus goes on every morning. I just needed that extra little bit of encouragement. So vanity prevails.
All the time. Can I just add to that elasticity in your skin and the way your skin feels? Water, 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 as Peta drinks her bottle of water.
Yeah.
Keep your water up.
I will. I was feeling a bit, my skin was getting a bit saggy. All right. So what's your second tip?
Funny. My second tip is I want you to think about your arms. Are they jiggly, or are they just jiggly when you hold them up like this and go like that?
Yeah.
Are you walking around like this all day? Because anyone who does that and doesn't flex their muscles, that's going to jiggle.
Yeah.
That's jiggling under there. So really think about, do you have jiggly arms? Or is it just something that is in your head? Yeah.
My third and final tip is around hormonal changes, because particularly we are going through menopause, or we're post-menopause, and all of those hormonal changes can definitely impact our body composition, because that estrogen has declined, and that can impact that fat distribution. And so, yeah, it can definitely accumulate in our arms as well as our belly. So, again, it comes back down to those foundations, doesn't it? Getting good quality sleep, not stressing too much, drinking your water, lifting heavy stuff, moving more, taking care of your heart, and eating real healthy food.
Yes.
What's your third?
You think about it and you go, oh goodness, there's just so much into it, but it's not. It's basic foundational stuff. Water, healthy food, moving, Yeah,
it is.
My third tip is going back to the strength part of it and the workout part of it.
Yeah.
Remember, ladies, every 6 weeks you want to change it up. So if you're doing push-ups on the bench to start with, take it to the floor or take it to a lower bench. The lower your elevation, the harder it's going to be in your push-ups. It's going to work those triceps, biceps, chest muscles more. But every 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, you want to change that weight up that you're using for those arms.
Yeah, absolutely. I can vouch for that. And this morning I was doing something and I went, oh yeah, because I've always been able to lift, and this is quite normal for us females, lift heavier lower, but not so much overhead. But yesterday I went, you know what? I've got these big dumbbells out today. and I've done lower body, I'm taking them over my head today. And I'm going to give myself this, I'm doing one. That's where I started. And I went, okay, I'm going for 2. And I'm going for 3. It wasn't fast, but that's okay because I was focused on lifting it heavier, and I was focused on making sure that my technique was correct. Because if my and I know this, once you take those weights that are heavier overhead, you are going to feel that in your spine. So it's like you really do need to focus on engaging core muscles so that you don't hurt yourself. And one of the things that I know you love to say to the ladies is go to a split stance. So rather than having feet directly underneath one another, we have one forward, one back, which therefore gives us that little bit more stabilization if we're going heavy as well too. So you were in my ear when I got to number 3. When I'm going 5. I've got the 3, I'm doing 5.
But that's what I love. That was the third thing I was going to add to that, was it's then focusing on each rep.
Yeah.
And if you focus on each rep, you're in that moment and you're not worried. You're not thinking about, I told myself I'll get 8 reps out. You did 1 rep. Okay, I've still got the power to do 2 reps. I've done enough. Okay, I've still got the power to do 3 reps. All correctly, of course. But that focus was then down to that 1 rep that you were in the moment.
Yeah, it's so it is, you're just coming back to that point that you made. It's really important to change it up, because if we don't change it up, we won't see that progression forward. We're either going to stay the same or we're going to start to go backwards.
Regress,
yeah. And we don't really want to go backwards in it as well too.
No.
So yeah, I think there's a bit of a bonus tip as well too, is stretching and flexibility. Though incorporating something into something like that into your daily routine can have benefit on the jiggly arms as well too.
Yeah, definitely. I have my client, you know him, Peter, and he, we're in the gym probably 3 times a week. He hangs before we do any strength training. So I have him hanging from a pull-up bar. And oh my goodness, like his posture has improved no end. And his strength in his arms and shoulders is just, amazing. So a big believer in stretching and, those mobility and flexibility movements.
Every single person should be doing that hang, the dead man hang.
Yeah.
Because, and it comes down to something that we spoke about. It's one of our most watched reels, was about, me opening up a bottle. And if we don't take care of the grip strength that we have, then we're not going to be opening up those bottles, being able to handle the saucepans and just general everyday type life activities. If we can't do that, then we cannot live independently, and we want to do that. So, and that is one way to really help that grip strength, is to hang, because you're putting your whole body against it.
Yeah.
And I think if you're under the age of 50 and a female, I think the aim is 90 seconds off the top of my head. Then you're doing, you're in the top echelon as far as, that grip strength type of thing. That's what's, but, it comes back a little bit. I think it's like 75 or something as you get to 60. So, Do you ever do hangs?
I do them after him sometimes, yeah. And and it's not just about, they just feel so nice, you just hang them and it's just like, oh.
Yeah, you see, I've got one of those machines outside where I hang upside down. and I do that every day. So you hear your back going click, 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 which is fabulous. But to hang the other way is just even different again. And that reminds me of when we did aerial yoga. I really enjoyed that. Hanging
Wasn't my most elegant day, but yeah.
Neither of us were graceful in that, but we're not graceful at all anyway. So
No.
it's not our thing. Oh dear. And I think wrapping it up, Sal, have you got anything you want to wrap it up with?
I do. Going to the workouts for your arms. I want you to think about when you are deciding on what weight you're going to start with. I want you to think about, number one, how heavy is your handbag? Just go to that one. And I love doing this to people because, you know, for instance, they'll pick up a 5 kilo dumbbell and, you know, they have to hold it and do their front raises, you know, holding their weight and do their front raises. Oh, this is so heavy. This is so heavy. Yes, but technically you only have 2.5 kilos in each hand. So think about that when you're thinking lifting and you're going, oh, this is so heavy. Remember, you would need to split that. So it'd be 2.5 kilo weights in each hand that you'd be lifting. So is it really that heavy, or are you just not liking it very much?
Yeah. Yes, it's true. The mind wants what the mind wants, doesn't it? Yeah, and it will tell us.
Yeah,
and it does tell us all those little stories about that as well too. So
it'll make us believe anything.
Oh, it definitely can, but I like the handbag weight. But I always come back to the grandchild or the granddog, or your dog. You know, if you've got a dog and it weighs 20, if it's a medium-sized dog, it's probably going to weigh about 23 kilos. The child's going to probably weigh anything from 10 to 20 odd kilos. So, can you lift that person or that animal if they're in need as well too? So yeah, and all of that type of stuff is certainly going to help keep those jiggly arms at bay. I'm going to wrap up with physical inactivity, because as we age, Mother Nature is very nasty to us, because it is when we need to be more physically active, but it is when we actually are less active than what we need to be. And so focusing on moving more throughout the day and being more physically active, even simple things, so like moving the furniture around, picking up the mattress and actually putting the sheet underneath it as opposed to just letting it slip underneath it. So there's lots of little incidental activities that you're doing throughout the day that is going to help you improve not only your arm strength and the look of your arms, but also your whole body.
The washing trolley. Get rid of that washing trolley. Use your arms. Lift that basket.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks for joining me, Sal.
Thanks for having me, as
You're
always.
very welcome. All right, everybody. We'll see you all soon. Bye, ladies.
Bye.
Bye.